Okay, it's taken me a long time to get to the point where I'm actually comfortable sitting down on camera and talking about this stuff again. When I was like 15, 16, I used to make vlogs on YouTube and I would just document anything I was into at the time. A lot of that was skateboarding. That was like my entire life. So I would just make videos anytime I had a new board to set up, or anytime I had new bearings to put in my wheels, or anytime I had a new brand of trucks I wanted to try. And that found an audience, and that was really cool for me at the time. And then I stopped when I was like 17, and I've talked with a lot of friends about it over the years, and I think that's one of the few things in my life that I actually feel some sense of FOMO over. For a long time now, I denied those impulses to whip out a camera and film and document something, and the best I've had for years, like a lot of people, is a phone. So I've documented a lot of my life, but the difference between me at 26, almost 27 versus 15 and 16 years old is a lot of it sitting on my phone. And I think, like a lot of people, I have this camera roll that is just 20,000 images of my life that you kind of forget about. Hey, it's me from the future, because I realized I never really got to my point when I was talking about this, and that was just to say, turn it into something and put it out there, regardless of how you feel about it. If you're not 100% stoked on the way it came out, or you don't love it and it's not the exact thing you want, just put it out there, because either there's an audience, you'll have fun doing it, or at the very least, it's documentation for you yourself, selfishly, to look back on one day when you're older, and you might be happy you have it. As a filmmaker with a background specifically in documentaries, and somebody who's very passionate about and loves documentaries, I have this obsession with documenting, period, whether that's through photo or video, and we all do it in our daily lives. I'll say it again, that I think too many of us have this archive of memories in our camera rolls on our phones that are just to be forgotten about. And I think you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't take your memories, or take the things you are actively passionate about, and share them with the world if you so choose. Document your passions, share what you love, and just do it, because who gives a shit? At the very least, get a digital photo frame and put it up in your kitchen and sync your photos to it, send them to it so that you see it, so you get it off your phone. I think that's where I was trying to go and what I was trying to say with this part of this rant. The videos I did make out of much smaller, inconsequential moments of my life, like setting up skateboards, those are videos I'm really, really thankful I get to look back on. Even though they're wiped off the face of the internet, they've all long been private on YouTube, they're things that I get to treasure. I think I'm coming back to it at a time where I'm seeing a lot of other people my age in this generation. We're feeling this pull back to what we were passionate about in childhood. And I think that's been a really interesting thing to experience, and to also watch other people around my age going through. It's almost like life has gotten too complicated, and we're not buying the work your life away at the same 9 to 5 and give to a company and hope you can retire in your mid-60s and enjoy what life is left at that point if you make it that far. I just feel like everybody's a little bit over being so serious about shit, because I think we've all given it a try. A lot of us went to college, some of us dropped out, some of us completed and got advanced degrees, and then you make your way onto the workforce, and the shit just isn't what was promised, or it's just not what we want, and that's okay. And I think a lot of us are realizing that that's okay. So I don't really know what the point of this video was, but maybe nobody sees this, maybe it connects with an audience, and I think we're in sort of a matrix moment. A lot of people experiencing a lot of the same feelings, and I'm sure that has always been a thing and always happened throughout history, but I think at no point like now have we been as tapped into it, because of tools like social media and the ability to put a video on the internet and it go wherever and connect with whoever. I think social media has been really demonized, rightfully so to some degree. I think there are too few safeguards in place, especially for young people on the internet. Instagram came around when I was 12 or 13 years old, and there's a big part of me that's so thankful it didn't come any earlier than that. But I think all the negatives aside, there are still a lot of good and cool things that come from social media, and one of those things is just connection with strangers. And that's one of the things that in my younger era I know I valued a lot, getting to be passionate about the same things with completely random people on the internet. And I think when you get busy as an adult, you don't have time for that sort of stuff, or when you're focused on making a living in a more professional capacity, maybe you have to step away from those sorts of things. I've spent the last almost 10 years exclusively doing this stuff for other people, businesses, brands, and I think it's taken me this long to come back around to wanting to do some of it for myself. That took extreme burnout in 2022 for me to really take pause and actually walk away from it for a while, to be able to a year or two later come back to it recharged and excited, because I think long haul, a part of me knew I wanted to protect it because I would maybe want to do it selfishly again. I think it's really easy as an artist, once you've monetized your art, to forget to have fun, or to blatantly be unable to experience fun in what you do, which to me is so dangerous and it's so sad. It's almost to be expected when you monetize something and you're lucky enough to make a career out of it. Like, that's awesome. And I know not everybody gets to say that about what they do, but it is a double-edged sword in that it can turn on you, and the things you were passionate about, that you loved, that you started doing because of that passion and love, might cease to fill that same cup again. And then you're just kind of going through the motions like any other job or career. And to me, that just sucks. And maybe it's naive to think that everything should be fun always, all the time. That's not necessarily what I'm saying. I just think it's important to be careful and tread lightly and remember why you're doing what you're doing, and to also be really careful about who you're giving that energy to. I worked for the same company in a creative capacity and a marketing capacity for a number of years, and just came off in December of 2025. And in my case, I'm often left wondering, what if I had put the same level of effort into something for myself that I did for someone else? And I think that's one cross to bear that we have as creative people or artists or whatever you want to call it. And I feel like I'm just coming back to a place where I am giving myself the license to do what I do creatively for myself again, and to just enjoy it and have fun, take the bumpers off, and curb the embarrassment and curb the judgment, because we are all just so fucking mean to ourselves. I think we're in this really, really, really inflated era of social media where major achievements that the 1% get to experience largely overshadow daily wins for most of us. And I think it's just important to remember that everybody has their own scale that we do things at, and that that's okay to grade yourself based on your scale and not somebody else's. So this video isn't really anything but me sitting down and talking to my camera in a way that I would a friend. Just a digital diary of sorts to talk about how I'm feeling, because I know I'm not the only one, and because I know I'm one of many people on the internet, certainly in my feed lately, who are feeling some pull back to simplicity and what we loved in childhood, and just the desire to stop giving our energy to bullshit and things that don't make us happy. Yeah, I've been talking too long. I think that's it for me.